6:30. And all right, so it's 6:30 on Monday night. Welcome everybody. Tonight we have a special guest. Mr. Steve Factor is in the house. He's in the kitchen right now, whipping up some stuff for us. So we're happy to have Steve back. He's going to be here the first Monday of every month. He's promised to do this. So anyway, so he'll be showing us how fun it is and how many things you can make using raw food. And he's a raw food chef and does a lot of fancy dinners for celebrities and all kinds of you know, highfalutin people in Los Angeles. But he's agreed to help us lesser folks out with some with some fun stuff. So anyways, we're always happy to have Steve, and he's a great spirit, and he's also a detoxification specialist. Has helped a lot of people get back to Wellville. So it's always great to have people to bounce off of, and you know, when you ask your questions, two heads are better than one, I figure. So anyway, so we welcome Steve in the house. So we had Memorial Day last Monday, so I didn't do a show. And I had oh, here he comes. Uh-oh, what do we got here?
Okay, just before you go with the Memorial Day, I just want to show everyone real quick this.
Okay, tip the plate a little bit.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
There you go, perfect, all right. Okay.
The balsamic drizzle is drizzling down then, you're going to see that. But this, well, I'm going to tell you in a second.
Looks like a modern art masterpiece. Look at that.
Thank you.
Wow.
Pure energy. Well, not really, but more on that in a second.
Oh,
this is more
nice.
Fun food.
Okay, good. Good. So that's what we have in store for us. We're going to have some neat stuff. You know, one of the things about the raw foods is people say, well, there's not that much to eat, but there really, truly is. There's so many variations you can do. Steve actually makes these cheeses out of nuts. He made one out of cashew. What kind was that, Steve? What kind of cashew cheese was that I tested?
Well, it was cashew, and okay, so check this out.
All right, here, let's get a bit of Leonard.
All right, okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for having me, Mark.
Oh, you bet, absolutely.
Such
Thank
a pleasure.
you for coming out. Yeah.
I mean, you're always like there helping so many people in healing and spreading the word of Dr. Morse. And
keeping them happy, keeping them fed with good, fun food.
Yes,
this doesn't have to be a chore. This can be fun, and you can still excite your taste buds, you know. So
totally, and that's what I got into in the gourmet raw chef world, because my roots in this raw world is definitely natural hygiene. Where when I got in, it was like fruits.
What is meant by that term, natural hygiene? I hear that a lot. I'm always confused what it means. Does that mean you use Dr. Bronner soap all the time? Or?
No. So, well, the idea behind natural hygiene, including like food combining laws and things like that, is basically if you cannot eat one ingredient as a meal by itself, that ingredient should not be part of your life at all.
So in other words, olive oil.
Like olive oil, yeah, you wouldn't just be doing that unless you were doing like gallbladder flush.
Oh, okay. All right, so that would not be part of your natural hygiene. Okay.
Right, or like garlic. We would never just eat, or at least most people wouldn't eat just like straight up garlic as a meal, or like salt, or things like that. So so that's where I started, and it was very much into the fruit and Dr. Morris, and I got into it, and you know, I got to see that we're in this like little world called the raw vegan world.
Yeah.
And this raw vegan world is like it's so small, and it's so narrow, and it's so narrow-minded. It can be, I should say, where it's like, if you're not part of our club, you're out of the club, or if you're not doing it exactly the way we said it. Like sometimes people say there's more fruits, or you should have more greens.
Right.
And sometimes at Whole Foods people say, should you have more fruits or greens, Steve? And of course I always say fruits. But isn't it great that we like are arguing if we should have more fruits or vegetables in our life, right?
That's a good argument. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I got into, from there, the natural hygiene into more culinary arts. And how do I make food great? Because I found that it's like, it's cool, you know, to get people on the fruit.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dr. Morse calls that the top of the mountain, like all fruit.
Yeah.
The top of the mountain, baby. Oh, yeah.
That is the top of the mountain, I'll tell you. And when you're on high fruit, it's just crazy. I mean, I'll talk about that more later. But that is the top of the mountain. Well, sometimes you're too high on the mountain. You want to come down off the mountain a little bit. Right?
Absolutely. And the thing is, a lot of times people don't want to go to the top of the mountain like that. Not everybody has cancer and they're about to die, or they have a life-threatening whatever, and they say, okay, we got to do it. And some are motivated just to do it just for sheer better, and that's what my story is. I didn't have anything like death or call or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to feel better and more amazing, do better on the basketball court. But I got to learn that it's like, how do we get people, most people, they don't want to just go to fruit. They don't want to just go to the top of the mountain. We need like a bridge. And that bridge happens to be the culinary arts. And I got to learn how to make things like the thing I just brought out is a bruschetta. And so the bruschetta is an Italian dish for like a bread and like a tomato, garlic, minced up salsa with maybe a little basil.
And it was really good, you guys. Trust me. It's
yes.
really good. And I got to have a little bit of dinner beforehand. He gave me a pesto. It was just unbelievable. Basil with and the noodles were made out of a zucchini, a spiralized zucchini.
Yes.
Trust me, it tastes better than pasta. I'm not kidding. I was going to take one bite and show you guys, you know, but I ended up eating the whole thing. I said, they'll not, they don't get to see this one.
It is. You said it's better than pasta.
It was better than pasta.
Right.
So
yes.
I took a call today from an Italian guy, and he's like, "What am I going to do?" And I said, "You're going to have to go with the pasta." But I hope he's watching. Okay, so
absolutely, because pasta in Italy, Italian is the word for paste.
Yeah, paste, and we've talked about this. We used to make, remember as a kid, we take the flour, the white flour that a lot of us put in our bodies on a daily basis, and we took water and we put it, we smeared it on newspaper and put it over a mold and come back the next day. It was hard as a rock. Yeah. I mean, it was bulletproof.
Let me show you.
And that's your GI tract.
I'm going to show you something real quick.
Yeah, pasta paste is really not
we just
not the best thing. Oh, here he's got some. Okay.
I mean, just at the bottom of the deal here.
Here,
you guys can see this. But look at the look at those noodles.
Yeah, down a little lower, There you go.
You see those noodles there?
I'm telling you guys, this was absolutely amazing.
I mean, it's all about the flavor, and here's the thing.
You're not going to miss pasta if you learn how to make something like this.
No, not at all. And here's what happened. Here's what happened to me when I got new to raw. When I was new to raw, I went to when I was new to raw, I was at farmer's market, and I'm buying fruit like nobody's business. They were like, do you have a big family or do you own a store? And I'm like, no, this is all for me. And so there's like a ton of.
You get a dirty look.
No, it's just like, is that really? That's all for you? Are you a raw foodist? I'm like, yes, I am. And she said, well, I have a place you can teach a class at my. I'm a nutritionist.
Good.
And you could teach a class on Ventura Boulevard, and so I said, okay. So I did my first class. This was before Whole Foods and everything. And I did my first class, and I remember, I'll never forget it, because it gave me so much flippin' confidence. And that was a lady was in there, and I made my zucchini noodles, but I had my marinara sauce. So instead of a pesto, it was more of a sun-dried tomato and a tomato and a garlic and crushed red bell pepper and all that, just flavor. And she took a bite, and she's like in her 50s, so she's lived 50 years or so.
Yeah. And
she goes, oh my God, this is the best spaghetti I have ever had in my entire life. She said it out loud to everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
It's such great news because we don't have to miss out on a lot of things.
No,
the more I learn about this, the more I talk to Steve, the more inventive. You'd be surprised, these raw food chefs. I mean, they're like, they invent things, and it's just it's crazy what they do. So you don't have to deprive yourself. Of course, with detoxification, we want to be on super high fruit, but like Steve says, is we can't all ramp up to 100% fruit right away if we need healing. So we need transitions, and also to maintain a lifestyle. We're human beings. We love flavor. We love experimenting. We're here on this earth to enjoy some pleasure. So with this, you don't have to sacrifice. So that's the good news. If you could come up with a raw food pizza that tastes like that, then we've really got something. So.
We do.
You already have that?
For sure.
Boy, okay.
There's really not too much we can't replicate. And so regarding the bruschetta I was telling you about, well, I liked feta, and I thought,
oh, feta's wonderful. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a bruschetta with feta, and I'm
A
gonna
bruschetta.
and I'm gonna call the feta Betta Feta.
Mo-
So I have a bruschetta. What you saw was the bruschetta with the Betta
Yeah.
Feta,
Yeah.
and it tastes so
It was good.
flippin'.
That was
like,
good.
I mean, there's no deprivation. And so what I teach people at Whole Foods and around the world, wherever I get to speak, is that if we want to be healthy, you ready for this one? We need to eat sugar, salt, and fat in abundance. Sugar, salt, and fat in abundance
Okay,
for
well,
human health.
we know it's coming next.
Well,
cause,
yeah,
because we all love that, but we feel like we can't get that right and still be healthy. But how do you do it?
Exactly. Like, isn't sugar, salt, and fat the things that are killing people? And it's like, yes, the fake, processed, denatured, or cooked, or granulated, or extracted sugar, salt, and fat. Yes, but the real sugar, salt, and fat is amazing for us. Real sugar comes from fruit. We get to eat a lot of it. We ought to eat a lot of it because what we're really eating is a lot of water. It's a lot of water.
And the body thrives on real sugar, by the way. The body runs on real sugar.
Yes.
Monosaccharides, the fructose, the body runs on it. That's what you need. We're a carbon-based species.
Yes.
The sugar is a carbon that we take in. It's actually what you need.
Yes.
So, let me just give you an aside here because this feeds right into it, is that I looked up, because I've been doing a lot of fruit, and I just have tremendous energy, and I was so high yesterday on fruit. I was actually annoying. I went out to the
I know what you mean by that too.
I went out to the desert. It was a 3-hour drive, and I had a couple people in the car, and I was just blabbing away. I had to apologize because they said, no, we feel your energy. It's great. But, I just wanted to know, what Dr. Morse says is true, because here I am eating a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
I'm not emaciating away. My body feels great. I'm still, I've never been a super muscular guy, but I'm still, I have my body tone. Everything's there.
Yeah.
Nothing's diminishing.
Yeah, you're in
my
good shape.
weight's not dropping.
Yeah,
it's not going up too much or anything like that. So I was trying to figure out why. Because I was always taught that fruit is just your snack food. It's your, you cut it up, put it on top of your processed cereal, or you sacrifice. Instead of ice cream, I'll have fruit tonight because I want to be healthy. But it's always the treat. It's always the sweet part.
Yeah.
It's never the main course.
Right.
So I started doing fruit as a main course, and I'm just amazed. I really am. So
this is it.
I looked at something that I got off of Wikipedia, okay? And human milk, mother's breast milk, right? This is at a time when the baby's brain is developing, when the body is growing, when that baby needs nourishment, right? It's in the beginning, right? This baby is growing like crazy.
Yeah.
But check this out. Human milk contains 0.8 to 0.9% protein.
Yes.
That's nothing.
Right.
That's nothing.
Yes.
That's what fruit has.
Right.
That much protein. It has 4.5% fat, right? We always thought that milk is just super high fat. So so there's not a lot of fat in there, and 7.1% carbohydrate. Okay? And the carbohydrates, so the highest of these things is the carbohydrates, which is the sugar, which is lactose. And lactose is like fructose. It's a simple monosaccharide, simple sugar. So the highest nutrition in this is the sugar, is the lactose. Okay? So there you go. It's like it really kind of changes my idea of how important or unimportant, mega nutrition is. Because, everybody's selling mega nutrition.
Yeah.
Oh, this has way more vitamin B and vitamin C and all that. But do we really need all that?
Right.
I mean, is nature right in its balance of low protein, low fat in the fruit, as it is in the mother's milk? Well, I trust Mother Nature. She's pretty much got it right. Yeah. I mean, look at the miracles all around us. So this is what Mother Nature designed, if you will. So, anyways, that's the sidebar. Its nutrition is it's overrated. Sorry.
Right, and sugar
is underrated.
Right, and we need it. We need it. All 100 trillion of our cells run on it. If we don't have it, our bodies will make it either with gluconeogenesis or it'll
What does that mean?
that's when we start to, like, if we go and fast and we go right into the muscles to pull. Like,
oh, the ketosis.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, and this is like, you got to have sugar, and if you have a piece of meat, it's going to convert to sugar, so your body could use it. So you might as well just go straight to the highest source of sugar. Sugar is great for us. Sometimes people say fruit has too much sugar. No, fruit doesn't have too much sugar. Greens don't have too much chlorophyll, and water is not too wet. Nature has made no mistakes whatsoever. So I talk about sugar, salt, and fat, right? So we got the sugar from fruit. Salt, which is really sodium, and all the other essential minerals come from, first, green leafy vegetables, maybe some sea vegetables, some maybe high quality rock salt or sea salt.
And the fruit has got the minerals too.
Yeah, and the fruit's got the salt.
Because see, the tree, get this, the
Yeah.
tree reaches to the sun to
Yeah.
get the solar energy to help synthesize, right? And then it also will take, and the roots will go down and go out until it finds the minerals that it needs.
Yes,
right?
Including the trace
hunts
minerals.
for them.
Including the trace minerals, which they are smaller minerals, and people think they're less important because they're trace, but they're actually even more important, and that's because the roots go down deeper. Like vegetables, they kind of go down to the surface, kind of, but fruit comes off of these things called trees.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, fruit is the end-all, be-all for like healing, day-to-day living. When I bring out the presto pesto or my bruschetta with Betta Feta, these are like bridge foods. These are fun foods to get us into it, and it's okay to do that. Like, the one thing about healing is, like, if you become a perfectionist, then you will succeed if you are perfect. And so if not,
which I'm not,
and then I haven't met one yet, but it's like, and Tony Robbins said, like, the perfectionism is like the ultimate display of low self-esteem. And so a lot of times people, they don't like their life, and they get into the raw world, and they have like a low self-esteem, or we're like the weirdos, right? We're like the misfits in the island in Misfit Island with the toys and with Christmas Story, right? The Island of Misfits.
Okay.
I don't know. Some people know that one. Okay. Anyway, and so we get into this weird way of living, and it's weird because society has brain dirtied us for so long with the 4 food groups.
I want to just interject something. I was in Walmart yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, and I don't go in there too much, and I was buzzing on fruit, right? And I just driven back from the desert and all that, and I needed something from my car, so I went into Walmart. Anyways, and I don't want to put down the people in Walmart because they're doing what they need to do, and I know it appeals to a lot of people that are really super price conscious, and I don't want to diss anybody. I don't want to judge anybody, but for me, here I come in and I've been having fruit all day long. And I did a sound bath out in the desert. It was with these crystal singing bowls, and I was just so clear. And I just was on such high fruit. And I went in, it was like being on a foreign planet.
Yeah.
And I would look at the people, and I actually felt sorry. They were, there's a lot of people younger than me with canes and little walking sticks. And, and I looked in their baskets, and it was, I mean, they have aisles and aisles and aisles of just garbage.
Oh, my God.
Boxed, processed, just stuff. And I want to just get on a loudspeaker and just start yelling in there. It's like, you guys, go to the vegetable and fruit section, please. Stay out of those aisles and learn about this.
Yes. So the loudspeaker.
And they have a McDonald's inside there, too. Right in front of the checkout stand, they have a McDonald's right there.
Yes.
With this unbelievable display.
Yes.
It's like a TV screen that's flashing all these beautiful images of, like, hamburgers and French fries dripping, flying down from the sky. And I mean, it's so enticing, and with McDonald's, get this, there's a McDonald's inside a hospital in, I think it's Houston. It's the #1 place where they do heart transplants, and there's a McDonald's inside there, and I hear that heart surgeons eat at the McDonald's. So culture's not your friend.
I mean, it is back asswards, excuse me. This is a family show, but yes, I mean, this is your mountaintop. Right here, there they are. And so we get to shout on it. We get to just say, hey, with the loudspeaker, this is it right here. So please share these videos. This is key for anybody. Like what this guy is doing here on a weekly basis is bringing you this. And he has me on. He's going to have other guests on too that are going to bring more and more insight to what has worked for them or what they have seen has worked.
I'm watching it work, and I really, I'm amazed. I
Mm-hmm.
really am amazed. I thought that, oh God, I'm gonna love the fruit. I'm gonna have all this energy and all that, but I'm gonna start losing some muscle tone, and I won't be able to surf like I like to, or ski like that. But none of that's happened. I've gotten more energized. And Steve and I were talking before the show started, and I was saying, how can we have more strength, more everything? And Steve said, because you're having more flow. And I said, save that thought and let's talk about that on the show. So Steve, what does flow mean? And why I'm not taking in any protein. I'm not eating any meat. I'm eating very little vegetables, and and not the usual suspects of the kales and all that and the spinaches with the high protein. So I have more flow. So that's why I have is it the appearance of strength, or do I have more strength?
Well, here's the thing. Before we go to flow, I just want to finish something that kind of slows down flow a little, and that's the third one out of the sugar, salt, and fat.
Oh, okay, right.
So fat will slow the flow down, but they are essential. Essential fatty acids, especially omega-3s. So we want to get our real sugar, salt, and fat, sugar from fruit, salt from green leafy vegetables, sea vegetables, rock salts, sea salts, and then fats from avocados, nuts, and seeds to help ground down and to give us those omega-3s and cushion a little bit. A lot of times people get very much into fruit, which is ultimate flow. And it's like turning on a fire hydrant for a lot of people, and it's like a little bit too much.
You got to know how to back off.
You got to know how to back off.
You can be very annoying to people around you.
You can be, well, that too, but here's the thing is that's why I have food like this, the bridge food, the fun food. To go in the 7-day pure energy cleanse, which we talked about the last video. We come up the mountaintop to day 4 here, but on days 1 and 7, we're kind of grounded a little more fatty, and then a little less, more fruit, at the very top. And so flow is life. Flow is everything.
Prana, chi, whatever you want to call
energy, it totally. And obstruction is death, or at least stagnation. And so when we flow, of course we're stronger. One of the things I just did, a new client yesterday, and he was saying, he wants to bodybuild and get strong and get big muscles. He's like, can I do this? And I'm like, yes.
On fruit? And
for
high
sure.
Veggie? Or would you balance more to veggie or keep high fruit?
No, I would still do more high fruit. Because, you need the carbon for the fuel to lift the weight. Okay? And there is a lot of amino acids in fruit. Yes. Just like there's a lot of, fat, not a lot. There is fat in fruit and there is salt in fruit. People think fruit is just so, no, fruit is like the top. But yes, I would have green leafy vegetables. I would be adding some of those. And if you want to really have power and stuff like that, I might get a little bit into the superfoods, which I'm not such a big proponent on because I think every food in the world is a superfood. But when you're starting to lift a lot of weights and you want to really get some size, then some of the chlorella powders, like sun chlorella or spirulina, or some of the maca powders, and some of these, and chia seeds.
So when you're unnaturally putting, lifting weights, let's say, right? So you're unnaturally breaking down a lot of cells, right? Because that's how you break the cell down, the muscle cell down, in order for it to get larger, right? Right. That's the theory of that.
Yeah, you break it down so it
adapts. Rebuilds into a bigger thing.
Humans adapt to anything.
So you're saying you might need a little more protein when you're doing a natural thing like that kind of breakdown.
Well, it's not so much that you need more protein, but you need to deliver the nutrition at the right time. And so athletes know that there's a 45-minute window after working out where we absorb more. The body's in a heightened state and there's more flow, so it's coming in. So it's not so much even how much protein we're eating or getting or what's on the box or the bag or the whatever, but how much are we absorbing? And then how much are we absorbing, how much is being utilized or assimilated, and then how much of the acid waste is being eliminated. And those are, I just mentioned, the 4 processes that Dr. Morse talks about in the Detox Miracle Source book.
Yeah.
And that is, anytime we put food in our mouth, there's digestion, then there is absorption, and then there's assimilation or utilization, as Dr. Morse says, and then there's elimination. And so when we start to get this machine, this car, our car running good, we start to become more efficient, and then 1 leaf of kale becomes maybe what 5 leaves of kale was to us 6 months ago before our cleansing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how little food you really do need when you're eating the right food.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, I think I've told this story before that you know, during Thanksgiving the family gets together, and the people that eat the regular meal, you know, they had a big turkey dinner,
Right.
and in the morning at 9 o'clock, okay, we're going out to breakfast, and I'm thinking,
right,
out to breakfast?
Right.
Are you kidding? And then at 12 o'clock they wanted to eat lunch again.
Yes.
So these are huge, 3 huge meals in a row. I was just, you know, seeing just the amount of food that for some reason that their bodies are craving, and I'm fine. Hey, just give me a couple handfuls of some fruit, a couple smoothies, and I'm good to go pretty much, you know, till noon. So.
You said a very key word.
Yeah.
Craving.
It's a craving, yeah.
Yeah, and cravings are rampant in human species. Okay, we have cravings all over the place, and food cravings are one of them. This is why I say it in the way I say it, in my cute little sugar, salt, and fat in abundance. It's like, because we need the real sugar, salt, and fat. If you're having Reese's peanut butter cups, start having more fruit. If you have more fruit, you'll want less Reese's peanut butter cups. Get the real sugar, you'll want the fake less. If you have the green, if you're having, you want Pringles all the time, and you want salt, and you can't stop having these savory, you're a savory tooth person, you need more greens. You might need a crunch on celery. But one of the reasons why you need a crunch anyway is because you have so much anxiety. Yes, anxiety. Crunching is an anxious thing that humans do. Yes, we need to move our jaws, we need to crunch and stuff like this. But like people that love that crunch, a lot of times it's related to anxiety.
And stay away from food that looks too perfect. Pringles stack too perfectly. So I would say anything that looks anything like it's too perfect, because fruit is not perfect. Right?
Exactly. Well, like the McDonald's hamburger.
Oh God.
You know, you will go buy one. Let's go buy. And we would never buy it. But like if we had one,
I wouldn't go into enemy territory.
And we put it in. I know, and give money and like and put it on a windowsill, and come back a few months later, it's gonna look the exact same. And if you put fruit on a windowsill 5 months later, it will not.
It won't even be there. It would have been digested by the bacteria and everything.
Exactly, because real food breaks down. Real food doesn't have preservatives. It's supposed to break down.
We better get to some questions
here.
We've been blabbing. See, we both had a lot of raw food and fruit, so
no, but this is good. I think what we're saying is key for people. And I think we were starting to say something, we didn't, but let's go to whatever.
All right, so Kelly says, yay, Steve, yummo. So she liked, that was probably from the beginning when she saw your food. Yeah, it is really yummy, Kelly. Steve, what can those of us who are sensitive to nutritional yeast use to flavor nice cheeses that's quick and easy?
Okay, so, well, quick and easy will not have a probiotic little capsule powder, you know, and I'm not into like probiotics other than for culinary reasons, just for fun. And I know they're not the best, especially if you take them consistently.
Just to ferment things a little bit?
Just to ferment things a little bit, to get these cheeses. And so I'll use a cashew. And so cashew is like the #1 nut for cheeses because it just tastes so good. But it might not be the healthiest nut, and some will even say, is it even raw? Like it's
right.
It's
there's
not
a question on that, yeah.
You know, and it probably isn't.
Same with cacao.
Right.
A lot of people question that.
Lots of that. You know, there's so much. Like, is it raw? You know, like just like start going in the direction of more hydration, more of this. But the cheese deal, okay, which is not hydrating. So no nutritional yeast is necessary. Lemon is a key, and salt is a key. And it seems like for sure salt And the more lemon you add, the more aged the cheese will be. Okay, and so another thing too is you might want to put like maybe a little garlic in there, blend it up, but the idea is to use as little water as possible, especially with cashews, because cashews retain water and they don't give it back, or they don't dehydrate. It's like the only nut that won't. It'll still be very moist, or moister than the others at least. And so so we need to, I like using less water and flavors because water dilutes, and I like intense flavors. So you don't need nutritional yeast. I would just do the salt, and I would do the lemon, and call it a day, and make it really easy, and play around with different nuts and see which ones you like. Maybe even a little apple cider vinegar.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Glenn Mack. Hi, Mark. Hi, Glenn. Okay, Jeannie. Hi, everyone. Good to be here. Good to have you here, Jeannie. I am glad to be here. We're glad to have you. Fruitarian Tia. Hi, guys. You're so much fun. You are too, Fruitarian Tia.
Woo!
You've been a good attendee of these. Thank you.
Yes.
Glenn Mack, can you please highlight the great benefits of bicarbonate to regulate your urine to sustain pH 7.4 throughout the day? I don't know anything about that. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I think this is like soda, baking soda.
Baking soda to get to get a good pH.
To get a pH. Okay. So the thing about pH, I think like we get into these numbers that man made up, and yes, these numbers matter. Okay. However, if we start to check the numbers, and we're doing like all day long, I would just enjoy the ride and have more fruits and vegetables, which are more alkaline than all the other stuff. Especially the green leafy vegetables will bring your pH up. And, you know, I mean, you could check and see how that is, but what is the question? The question is...
He wants to know about using bicarbonate to sustain a 7.4, which is going to be an alkaline pH in the urine. And if I can interject something, that's not what you want. You actually want a slightly acidic urine, because that shows you that your lymph system is moving acids out of the body, which is one of its main jobs, if not the main job.
Yes.
So you're going in the wrong direction there, and to actually ingest chemistry to try and fool that is not the way to go. What you want to do is you want to move lymph.
Yes.
And you want to eat alkalizing foods that help hydrate and move lymph. Right?
Yes, you could, exactly. Perfectly said, because it's like, baking soda, bicarbonate, is not a natural thing. It comes from nature like everything else, but it's not. And yes, people sometimes will use it to brush their teeth, or to raise their alkalinity.
Or have these Kagan waters and all that.
Yeah.
That will they'll bring the alkaline pH of the blood up, but they don't.
Right.
They don't do anything for the lymph system. Is
what
we're concerned with.
What Dr. Morse teaches, and this is key, is going to the core, going to the cause, not into the symptomology of, like, you know, numbers and this and that. Just get into the simplicity of healing, because your body is the healer. And your body, like when we go on water fast, we get a little acidic because we're dumping acids, like Mark just said. And we want to dump those acids. We want the acids in our urine. We want to see our kidneys filter and see a cloudy. If you
it's the key to the whole game. Kidney filtration is lymph moving out the kidney door. It means your lymph system is moving. It means your kidneys are not inflamed, so they're doing their job of filtering lymph and getting the acids and toxins out of the body where we don't need them. So and this is done by high fruit, because fruit is very alkalizing. It's also astringent, which means it pulls things.
Pulls on toxins.
You know, take a bite of a lemon, watch your mouth all pucker up. You squeeze and you pull.
You don't even have to bite the lemon. Just think about it. Just think. I'm telling you, your mouth will get all like.
It's really that easy. I mean, if we could actually stop the show right now if I just said, look, just eat a ton of fruit. We'll see you next year. And you'll be a changed person. I mean, it's really that simple.
That's what I say on my whole food talks. I say, I could just end this whole thing
it's all done,
and just say, eat more fruit, and say hi to nature every day, and just call it a day.
Stay away from the center of the supermarket.
Oh yeah.
Stay away from anything boxed, canned, any of that stuff. You know, even Whole Foods, they're guilty, right? 90% of Whole Foods is all whole packaged foods, and a ton of grains, right?
Every
Americans
supermarket.
love their grains. I mean, everything's grains, cookies, crackers, biscuits.
Which are complex carbohydrates.
And form acid in the body. They create an acidic medium in the body. So
yeah, and complex is not what we want. We want simple. And guess what is simple? We're back to fruits and vegetables again. Especially fruits.
And you know the spiralized zucchini is you're not going to want the pasta anymore. Yeah. You can get those spiralizers for like $30-$40 on Amazon, right?
It's so easy to be raw in 2016. There's no the whole internet is there. There's no excuse. The food is amazing. People sometimes will say to me, "Steve, how are you so disciplined?" And I'm like, "Are you joking me? Like, I eat sugar, salt, and fat in abundance. You think like that pasta I had, or the feta bruschetta with the Betta, you think any of that, or my tier raw minsu that some of you may know about? I mean, like, I'm deprived how?
I'll give you guys a great diet plan right now. All you do is do fruit until noon. Don't have anything else. Just fruit till noon.
Love that.
Get your NutriBullet, throw a bunch of fruit in there, fresh squeezed orange juice, some berries, and spin it up, and then drink those and munch on fruit. And then at noon have a salad, and then in the afternoon you can make little things like Steve makes. You can have these little taste sensations, these pastas, all these things. He's coming out with a cookbook, guys. I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah.
And so you can nibble the rest of the day. I promise you will not be hungry, and you'll have a great life. And that is a plan you can sustain forever. Yes. Right? And you're going to live a long time, by the way, so get ready.
Yeah, and work on like extending that fruit. One of the things is that, especially at the beginning, over time, when you get a cleaner and cleaner body, we actually need less fruit. But at the beginning, if someone's used to having 1,000 calories of something, like
at a sitting,
or before noon, let's say.
Oh, okay.
Before noon they hit 1,000. Well, then you better be hitting 1,000 before noon in the raw world, and that is a bigger volume because there's so much water in raw fruit.
That's true.
So people need to learn over time at the beginning to eat enough to sustain, so they don't have the cravings to go back to the old.
Yes.
Okay, so I have found that I teach my clients to eat more fruit, more fruit, more fruit. I tell my clients that you're going to hear this word from me, and you're going to get sick of me saying this word, and then you're going to turn to a point, if you continue on, where you actually start to want to hear the word more, and you will bow down to fruit. Fruit is everything else is just like, it's kind of like...
It really is. Like, no, seriously.
Yes.
Superfoods have been the big buzzword, and David Wolf has certainly promoted this, but there is no more powerful superfood than fruit. Yeah. And the idea that maca, which is a root, it's a root vegetable, is going to be more powerful than fruit is ridiculous. Yeah. And not to put David down. David's doing his thing, and but I'd love to have him in a little session like this and talk about it, because a couple of his things in his superfood, like I had his book, I bought it years ago. I was following all that. I was spending a fortune too. Yeah. But the goji berries are wonderful. But the goji berries you find here they're like super dried out raisins. Sure. They're very low quality. A lot of them come from China. Sure. So it's hard to get good goji berries and things like that. But yeah, fruit is fresh, ripe picked, organic fruit is the ultimate of the superfood. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to spend $80 for a little packet of Shilajit or whatever. So yeah.
And I'll mention something too about David that a lot of you don't know, because a lot of you have been hearing people bash him to pieces, and a lot of them are in this fruit world. And when one person says something, then other people hear it, and then it becomes like a story, and then it becomes a reality, and then all of a sudden they have a whole thing. But guess what? David Wolf thinks fruit is at the top.
Yeah, there you go.
He said he's written it in his book. He talks about it. Yes, he does superfood, but he knows fruit is at the top. And when I first heard that, I was like, really? Because I was a little hypnotized by some of those things that people were saying.
Well, let's get him on the show and have him say that so we can blow this wide open.
Well, yeah.
You
No,
know,
I mean,
that he would do. David, if you're out there, do us a service and really tell people about the fruit, because
he has gotten bashed so much, and by people, and I get it. You know, they're like, oh, he's selling this, or he's saying that you need the cacao, or this or that. But the reason the world like pretty much knows about cacao, like chocolate,
no, he's done
is
a lot
because
of
David
good.
Wolf. The people of the world know about like goji and maca and turmeric is because of his amazing the way he speaks on stage and carries the
No,
message.
he's a great messenger.
Amazing.
I bought a NutriBullet because of him.
Yeah.
I was taking a nap on a Saturday,
Yeah.
and I was in one of those half sleep, half awake states, and I had the TV going.
Yeah.
And David was on there, and he sold me that NutriBullet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually got up off the couch and ran out to the Bed Bath & Beyond with my 20% coupon and got one.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great thing. So David's done a lot of great stuff.
Oh my God, the world is a better place because he is on it. There's no question about that. And there's these groups, you know, and people know where it started and all that. But it's like there's these groups of people that like just want to bash him, and it's like, what is he really? He's selling.
He's selling.
So what?
But if he could say, okay,
Yeah.
fruit is the top of the ladder, but you know, for convenience, you know, this is stuff that we can ship you, and you can store, and that's what this is.
Yeah, that's what he
does. Because you can't make money on fruit as an entrepreneur. It's very difficult. So
yeah, I have no problem with someone trying to make money, but it's like when someone is trying to deceive or something. And David clearly says that fruit is at the top.
Beautiful.
And David has learned and been mentored by Dr. Morse as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Morse, if you look at the Detox Miracle Source book, he thanks David Wolf in it.
Oh, did David attend the
yeah,
yeah. Oh, fantastic.
For sure. David has learned so many from so many different modalities. You know, and I love the fact
God, if we could have him in our camp, you know, to promote this would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's great. Mm-hmm. That's great to know. So yeah, fruit is the highest of all superfoods. So look no further, and save your money.
Fruit is like, yeah.
I had a whole cupboard full of all that fancy stuff, and now I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling Steve, every month everything in my cupboard gets less and less and less. You know?
There's only like a certain handful of people in the world that like would love to talk about fruit. And like, let's have a conversation about fruit. And like, we get excited about fruit, and we want the conversation to continue in the fruit subject. You know, not too many people do that.
I think I was thinking about this the other day. I think, you know, the whole 2012 thing. That was December 21st, 2012, right? Which wasn't that long ago. I think that was real. I think there was a real shift there because I became more fruitarian, more raw. Mm-hmm. Everything started to ramp up, and a lot of people. And I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are awake in many areas. You know, like you say, oh, 9/11's a little fishy. It used to be like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, get out of it. Now they're like, yeah, what's up with that? Or, you know, people are just awake in a lot of different areas, and thank God they're more awake in the raw food world,
right? And
also in the fruitarian world. But like I say, you know, guys, just get a big quart mason jar and spin up a bunch of smoothie, you know, with fresh orange juice and the berries. Get them frozen at Trader Joe's. They're real cheap, organic, and drink that all day long, all morning long, and watch your energy. Mm-hmm. You might, you know, like we say, you might have to ramp into that because your adrenals might need to reset and all that. But after a week or two of maybe doing Steve's program where you ramp up with some veggies and things, you'll get into it, and then you'll know what this is, and it's really super amazing. So
you know, I talk to my clients, and like, how do we get them into it slowly? Some want to get into it all the way, some want to get into it slowly. And so the slow method, the gradual method, is the fruit till noon, and then after noon I tell them, eat whatever you want in the world.
Beautiful.
I say anything. And then when you're ready, then you go fruit till noon, and then at noon maybe you have either more fruit, or you might have a green smoothie or a salad, like Mark said. You'll have like 2 meals that are raw. And then at dinner you have whatever you want in the world. And then when maybe a month goes by, or a week goes by, whatever it is, then you have dinner raw. And then all of a sudden you're like, I did a whole day raw.
You know what happens too is that you can't. fall off the wagon too far, or you get hurt too bad. Your cheats will hurt you.
Yeah.
So you can, like Steve says, have anything you want, but you're not going to want it. You're not going to be able to handle it. Your body's going to kick it right out. It's going to make you miserable.
It does hurt. The longer we get clean, the more sensitive we get to things. And at first I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be this like tie-dye vegan who is sensitive to food. I can't have that.
Right. You can never get invited to dinner parties because you're a pain in the neck that won't eat anything, right?
But I got to say,
make the hostess feel bad and all that, but there's ways around that. So.
Well, the whole sensitivity thing, like I didn't like sensitive in any way because I'm a guy, I'm a man. And now I've learned that my sensitivity is probably my strongest asset because I sensate. I'm sensitive to things that come in that aren't good. But then I'm very sensitive to things that come in are very good. So I get to enjoy life more. And I see a tree and I'm like, oh my God. And most people would be like, what tree? I don't even care. Who cares?
So if you don't want to get more sensitive, don't eat raw.
Right. So sensitivity is only a negative thing if you're in the negative area of sensitivity. But there's a whole positive world out there to be sensitive to. And I've also done a lot of work on my mental and emotional bodies to not take things personally, or not to be so like, if things are sensitive to me, why? What's the deal? And when I coach people, I get into holistic health coach. We're not just in the physical, we do the mental and then the bridge between the two, which is the emotional. And these are key to increasing the flow, because there are people even in the raw world who aren't very healthy. They're so angry, they're so dogmatic, they're so perfect. And they have to like and it's like, it's not just what you're eating, but what's eating you. What is this doing to you all day long?
Yeah, I see that with the vegans, you know.
Big time.
And I love their empathy and everything for the animals. I love that. But yeah, there's a lot of they can fuel some things.
Absolutely.
But it might be an adjustment, you know, as coming off of the meat and all that, and the adjustment is, wow, they look back at their lives and they actually want to make amends for that, you know. And
for sure.
They're angry at their choices. I know that I can't believe I ate animals all those years. Now that I don't, it's like, wow, it's like, why did I do that? Because I thought we needed it. I really believed, I thought we needed it. But let's move on to some more questions here. This is from Fruitarian Tia. I found a lump, 2.5 inches long and 1/2 inch wide on my bicep that is not mirrored on the other arm. No pain. It feels rather hard and I can move it. Probably a fatty lump. How do you detox that out?
Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. It's coming out. If you're on the fruit and you're on the greens and you're on the living foods, your body will heal itself and stuff has to come out. And sometimes things get a little worse before better, because that is detoxifying. It's trying to get out. Everything's trying to get out of our peen, our poo, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our skin, our lungs. We're all trying to get it all out of us.
Body's kicking out the stuff it doesn't want, and it'll go anywhere it can. Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a while to get out, and it looks a little worse before it gets better. And so, how do you detox that out? By detoxing everything out. See, a lot of times people are like, okay, I think there's something wrong here, and I want in my forearm, I want this to get fixed. And so they get on a healing protocol. They might go fast, or they might go on a water fast. They might do a fruit. They might do something. And they think, well, I want to fix this arm. And the body says, actually, your arm is not that important to us right now. We're going to go here first. And it's usually the lymphatic system first, and then the kidneys, and then the adrenals. And the body's going to go where it needs to go first, not where you think it needs to go. So let it be. Let it flow. Let the healing happen. If you're in the healing foods and the healing lifestyle, it's just going to go. It's just going to do its thing.
Well, Fruitarian Tia is probably a fruitarian. So yeah, you're sometimes when you do a lot of fruit, you're gonna kick up some latent toxins, some buried toxins that are deep inside the body. And so what happens is now you've uncovered this acidosis, okay, this acid. The body goes, oh my gosh, I've got to protect the body from these newly uncovered acids. And so lymph is very, it's very fatty. It's a lipid-based fluid. So that fatty lump there is a lymphatic, you know,
Mm-hmm.
big lump of lymph fat basically that's come in
Mm-hmm.
there to protect.
Mm-hmm.
That's all going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
You can help it out. You know, you can put some castor oil packs
Mm-hmm.
on there with some heat. I have videos on my website how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That'll soften that up.
Mm-hmm.
They'll help it flow. You can dry skin brush. You can
Mm-hmm.
rebound. You can do things to help move lymph and get that flowing again. But you know, these cysts, boils, tumors, all this stuff are just the body protecting itself from acids.
Right, right.
So
For sure, and so good.
and then you probably have a weaker kidney on one side than the other. That's why you have a more of a lymphatic backup on the one side.
Yes.
So like Steve says, keep doing what you're doing, eat high fruit, and you can get on some herbs and do some of the protocols like rebounding, skin brushing, hot and cold, and the castor oil packs and things like that.
Yeah.
Tons of information on my website, and I just redid all the links too to make it easier for you guys to find stuff. And you can just hit the search bar too, and it'll take you right to things. So.
Right.
All right. So, how do you guys review your eyes?
How often?
How often for changes? That's a good question. I took eye pictures a few years ago, and I just got a good iris camera. We did Steve's eyes. We're going to look at his. We're going to give him his reading after this show. But so it's been a couple years for me. You should probably do it every 6 months or a year because you can see the changes quickly. My old pictures were not as, the camera wasn't as good, so it's hard to match up. I was clearly a lot more toxic. My eyes are changing. They're getting lighter. They're getting more coppery, and they used to be really a lot darker brown, especially around the iris, which is the bowels, stomach and bowels.
Yes.
And up into the head, you know, those toxic tunnels. So yeah, so every 6 months to a year, do it. And
So
you guys
good.
can get an iris camera now off of eBay. They're under $200 and they're pretty good. They go up to 2 megapixels, which is enough resolution, and they get really close.
Yes.
And they have the lighting inside the eye cup, so it's really easy to get good lighting and all that. It's the manual's a little iffy with the Chinese, so but if you play around with it for a little bit, you're going to get the hang of it. You can do your family, your friends. You can send us your eye pictures for review, and we can have a consistent quality. You know, you can even have a little side business of doing eye pictures and doing iris readings, which would be fantastic. It's not that difficult. I have lessons on my website, by the way.
So good. And if any of you haven't seen yet, go Google Steve Factor eyes.
Oh, that's right. He has
My
before
eyes.
and after. That's right.
Go look at my Steve.
Yeah.
Just Google Steve Factor's eyes, and it'll come up, and you will see 4 years apart. And it's like if you look at those photos, it's like there's brown eyes with like these hints of something. And that's when Dr. Morse said, "You got blue eyes." And I'm like, "Say what?" He goes, "Those are blue." And I'm like, "Come on."
No, you're definitely going blue, yeah.
And then he's like, "Those are underneath that excess orange sulfur. You could see these little blues." And I'm like, I guess that's blue.
Oh, yeah.
A
lot of people have blue eyes. They don't even know it. They go through life thinking they have brown eyes.
And here I am, and my eyes right now are more of a hazily, which is like the in-between the sulfur and the true blue that they are.
Oh, all the hazels are really blue.
Yes.
And all the greens are really blue.
Yes.
There's only blue and brown, really.
Exactly.
Glenn Mack. Mark, also you mentioned in the past that lymph in the lymph system nodes can be pH of 3, which is highly acidic. Can you give me the reference you quoted from, please? I think you're referring to the fact that cellular acids, you know, the cell, you have all these, like Steve mentioned, 100 trillion cells. They're doing their job and they're kicking out acids, okay, cellular acids. And cellular acids is around a 3 pH before it goes to the lymph nodes. When it gets into the lymph nodes, there's actually bacteria in those lymph nodes that actually brings the pH back up to a more alkaline, because if 3 pH was sent to the kidneys, forget it. Those kidneys are going to lock up on you. So thank God we have the lymph nodes and good bacteria. That's why we're so down on antibiotics unless absolutely necessary, because there's a lot of good, friendly bacteria in the body. And this is one of them that will neutralize those heavy acids, okay? So I hope that helps you, Glenn. Ashley writes in, I felt a hardish bump. What's with all these bumps coming up on people? I felt a hardish bump on my right side of my groin. I think it might be a lymph node. A lot of lymph nodes down the groin area. It's probably the heaviest besides the head, right? of a lymph node. So probably it is not mirrored on the opposite side. So again, weaker kidneys on one side. Get a castor oil pack on there. Get high fruit. Move lymph. Get some herbs. Get some kidney herbs. Get kidney filtration. Like we always talk about, kidney filtration. Number one, make sure you just pee into a jar first thing in the morning and see if there's clouds in there. You've got to have that, or none of this works. Okay. And we talk extensively about kidney filtration. There's videos up on my website, and yeah, it's the number one thing to know as far as healing. After, of course, high fruit. All right, so Ashley, I don't have a regular doctor, so not sure if I should immediately be concerned or to keep detoxing and a heal all douche. Thank you. Yeah, that's your choice. Basically, I don't give any advice on seeing a doctor or not. If you're concerned, yeah, go to the emergency room for sure. But yeah, yeah, I would really get on a herbal protocol. And yeah, Heal All Tea is a wonderful douche, and it's Dr. Morse designed it a lot for female problems, cysts, fibroids, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, yeah, look into that more. Go to rawfigs.com. That's a wonderful resource because you just type in the search engine any kind of thing, and the video at the right spot will come up from Dr. Morse. So that might help you there too, Ashley. But I'm suspecting a lymph node. So castor oil packs soften them, and moving lymph helps clear them. And Dr. Morse has lymph node formulas and all that. So yeah. Thoughts on how to control candida? Steve, there you go. That's from Andy.
Yes. Fruit.
Fruit.
Which
believe it. Oh, come on. Fruit feeds candida.
Most people would say that. I mean, 99. Oh, I don't know if it's 99, but most say.
I'd say 100% would say it.
Well, enough are starting to say it now, where it's fruit for candida, and people are concerned about that. Of course, check out. There's two people you want to friend on Facebook or no. One is Chris Kendall. And the other one is Ashley Clark. They used to be a couple. They're still friends, but both of them have had candida for like, I don't know, most of their life or a lot of their life, and tried everything possible until they got on the low-fat, high-carb fruit. Nothing worked. And that's like what everybody would say is
go figure that.
Go figure that.
Wow.
Also, candida hates the sun. Candida hates the sun. Go in the sun more. Get in the sunshine more. And when you start to get more of the healthy intestinal flora, the good bacteria, it'll eat the other ones. And people say, well, fruit is going to like feed, the thing. And it's like fruit will feed only the things that are necessary for the body to stay there. And the fruit will take out everything that the body doesn't need. But you need to keep an important thing about fruit. We've mentioned a lot about fruit. You got to keep fruit alone. Like, don't be mixing fruit. There's like an exception that I use with my clients, usually in transitioning into the raw, which is the green smoothie. The tender leafy greens with fruit seem to be okay. But really, fruit by itself is best. Because when fruit gets mixed, especially with like starches or fats, and God forbid meats or anything like that, it ferments, and then all bets are off about how powerful we said fruit was.
What did you tell me today? We had a fig pudding and also watermelon, and I was gonna eat the fig pudding first. You said no, fast cars first.
Yeah, right? fast cars first.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
You got to do the watermelon before the figs. On an empty stomach, you do the watermelon. Usually, I like the watermelon first thing in the morning
because it moves the fastest.
It's the fastest car. Fastest cars first.
Okay, good to know.
This is what I teach my clients, and there's a couple things. I'm getting an influx of clients all of a sudden, and I'm actually going out of town to go see Ryan, who a lot of people know Ryan. He's a friend of mine on Facebook who is stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. And he's called me to fly out to him to be his chef and health coach. And this is a guy who doesn't even really like. He probably knows more than me about all the different things out there because he's been dealing with this cancer, I think, extensively for at least like a year or so. And he's been like researching his life away because it is his life. And so he knows so many different modalities. And what I plan to do there is really go there and make things a little simple. I want to like simplify. I want to come back to the fruit. I want to come back to resting. I want to come back to the body takes care of itself.
Yeah.
And so yes, fruit, fastest cars first. And I tell my clients like, and I'll tell this guy, and by the way, I have another client just last week, least likely to go raw, ever to go raw. This is like a truck driving. He's not a beer drinker, but he's like
he's a diner food guy.
He's like total diner guy.
Yeah.
He's like a trucker kind of guy, whereas like fruit and vegetables, like he likes a few of them. So I put them together for him in a program, and he got on it. And he's 6'2", 360 pounds.
Oh boy!
And he doesn't like very many things, but he loves orange juice. So I got him on 64 ounces of OJ first thing in the morning after his spring water and lemon water. Okay, then we get 64 ounces of OJ. And then after that, we go into mono fruit, like whatever he wants. He wants like peaches. He's been digging the cherries now in season.
Nice.
He hits them, and hit as many as you want.
Nice.
Yes, you can have 5,000 cherries if you want. Yes, I said 5,000 cherries. The reason why I say abundance, because isn't abundance gluttony? No, nature is abundance. Nature is abundant, and when real food, because it has all the water, fiber, and everything, we always get full at the perfect time. There's never overeating. You cannot overeat fresh fruit.
No.
Dried fruit maybe, but fresh, hydrating fruit, perfect.
Yes.
So he's doing the lemon and the water, and then he does the orange juice, and then he does the mono fruit, and then I give him a fruit pudding, which might consist of like 2 or 3 ripe bananas. Let me say it again, ripe bananas. One more time, ripe bananas, key.
Is that when they start to get the spots on them?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And I know you know, and you're just asking the question for the.
Well, because sometimes I let them go too far, and I still love them. Even they get real mushy, but I still love them.
Well, bananas are one of the few foods that increase in energy as it ages, and it goes from a starch.
I take them right to the limit, I think, where that top part's just falling off and all that. Yeah.
Well, it goes from a starch, which we don't want, to a sugar, which we do want the sugar. And these are good sugars, and it increases in energy and nutrition as it ages. So about 3 bananas maybe for him, and maybe a cup of frozen blueberries or raspberries or blackberries or whatever berry blend, whatever it is. A little bit of water. He's got himself like a quart smoothie with 3 or 4 bananas. Okay.
Sweet.
And then he goes. After that, I give him a green smoothie. Which is basically some bananas again. I might put some dates to sweeten it up because the greens are kind of bitter. And then I'll give some frozen mango because the yellow ice won't mess with the green color, and I want it to be bright green.
So he's getting some good calories. He's not going to feel like he's calorie depleted. A big guy like that's going to need more than us.
I keep telling him to eat and eat and eat and eat. And so he got the greens down. He's putting it down. And then at night, he loves red wine vinegar. He doesn't like apple cider vinegar. He doesn't like. He just likes red wine vinegar on the salad. He doesn't like avocado. Bless his heart. Oh my God, he doesn't like avocado. But some people out there are like that. But he doesn't like avocado, and so he just has a bunch of veggies like romaine, red bell pepper, cucumber. He loves cucumber. Celery, he loves celery. And I chop him up real good for him. He's never really had a finely chopped salad. And then he puts the red wine vinegar, and he's in heaven. And
if you get him to lemon instead of red wine vinegar, you're transitioning.
But we're good with that. And I told him, I said, and after that, I want you to have some seeds because I want him to get grounded and feel that heavy when he goes to sleep. Okay. At this time, at the beginning, I want him to have the seeds.
That's one of the things. You kind of crave grounding foods as you begin to transition.
Yes, you need them.
Carrots and beets will really help you in your transition.
In the vegetable. Yeah. So I have him with pumpkin seeds. He's been doing the pumpkin seeds, and then I want to give him walnuts. He likes both of those, and walnuts are very good in omega-3 fatty acids. So it's
high calorie. Yeah.
But and then after that, he can have anything he wants. Well, if he's working with me, You go have hamburgers, hot dogs, pizzas, burrito. You can have it all. But you can't have that until you have your walnuts. And you can't have your walnuts until you have your seeds for the day. And you can't have your seeds for the day until you have your salad for the day. And you can't have your salad for the day until you have your green smoothie for the day. You can't have your green smoothie for the day until you have your fruit smoothie for the day.
Okay.
And you can't have any of it until you got your fruit of the day. So this is what I do. And then he's like, I don't want it. You know, and I was working extensively with him too, like almost all day long. And a couple times he would get a craving. I'm like, get on that fruit. What did I tell you? If you have a craving, what do you do? And he's like, fruit. And I'm like, yes.
There you go.
Fruit, fruit, fruit.
Okay, we got to move on here.
One more really quick thing.
Yeah.
In 5 days, he lost 10 pounds.
Very good.
5 days,
Wonderful.
10 pounds. Sugar, salt, and fat in abundance.
Love it. He's a happy guy.
So happy for him.
Okay, so Andy, thoughts on controlling DETOX? We talked about that. Fraternity, Andy, for me, cat's claw and padiarco are working well for controlling candida. Yes, those herbs are really wonderful. Dr. Morse has the parasite M. Yeah, take an herbal thing to kill them for sure,
yeah,
and move your lymph in your stomach and bowels too. Get on the GI broom. Those go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, moving lymph. See, the thing about candida also is when you have obstructions, right, to the flow of the lymph, you get these sort of like dams and these sort of pools, cesspools basically, and the candida loves those.
Yes.
So get the lymph moving, you have no more cesspools. The candida has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's in a river now, a flowing river, and it's you know, there's nowhere to hide.
Go in the sun too. Sunshine.
Go in the sun. All right. So Fraternity, what fruit did you get manic on yesterday? I don't know if I'd call it mania. You know, I mean, I've had mania from too much Starbucks, but this is a different thing. This is almost like I can remember being a kid and just getting super giddy. It's more of a giddiness, you know. Mania is more of like just kind of a strange, freaky energy. This is more of like you just love everybody, love everything. You want to share the love. You just running just such a positive note through you, you know. So it was. I made a big quart of you know, I took fresh oranges, you know, and just made orange juice, and then I put in Trader Joe's berries, organic raspberries, and the blueberries. They have those little boreal blueberries from Canada, no pesticides, they're wild. They're not organic, but they're excellent, and they're cheap. It's like under $4 a pound, like $3.50 a pound, and just wonderful. So I put a bunch of that. I think I put a little mango in there.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Hey, guess what? The wild, I think, is organic.
Oh, it is,
but not legally organic.
Oh, okay.
Like they didn't get a 7-year deal.
Oh,
like,
they didn't have
the certification. Yeah. But Wild says that it's out there. It's not in there in the line of the spray. Yeah. So Wild, I'm pretty sure I have that right. That Wild Wild is superior even to organic because it's wild. It's where man hasn't been. Yeah. Yes.
So it's a wonderful mania, really. It's just you're just running a positive number. Try it, you guys. Give your body a little chance to ease into the high fruit. But it's beyond description. And for someone to be older like me and to feel these things like a child, it's just wonderful.
So good. Yeah. I mean.
Steve knows. Steve bounces around a lot too.
Well, what you just said might be like one of the world's problems. You know, like,
we don't act like a child.
We don't act like a child. We're not free. Yeah. We got old. We got serious. And this is part of what I teach as well. And this is part of the flow. Is like laughing. If you laugh, do you know how much flow that produces in somebody?
It's like an electrical current that goes through you.
It does. It does. And endorphins. And this happens. And when we walk, known as the master exercise, this flow. We are eating here fruits and vegetables. This is flow food. We want flow. Flow is so like it's everything. It's life.
Yeah, and you know the thing about it too is that I was just thinking, you know, as a kid, remember you got into the parents like chocolate, you know, and you overate that, and you were bouncing off the walls for like half an hour, and then you were asleep, taking a nap the next minute, right? You just crashed and burned. You don't get that with the fruit. You get giddy, and then. You just kind of stay giddy.
Well, yeah, there exactly, and there is a distinct difference between energy and stimulation. Yeah. And so people say coffee gives me energy, or meat gives me energy, or chocolate gives. It's like, no, that's more a stimulation.
It's a weird. It's like
Yeah.
it's like an edgy.
Yeah.
There's an edge to it.
There is an
that's
edge.
not good.
Because it's messing with it. You go. It's doing like there's thing, and like fruit is like you just like you take off into like you're in the trees. You want to get off of the ground and into the trees. Start eating what's in the trees.
There you go. Kelly, yes, the body craves what you feed it. Feed it junk food and it will crave junk food. That's a good point. Feed it healthy food and it will crave healthy food. Words of wisdom. I love it.
Straight up.
I love it. Okay, Max. Oh, Max is on. Great. Hi there, Mark. Did you ever try doing a dry fast for filtering? I did a 1 day. And yes, I got filtration. I've been getting good filtration. Yeah, I feel really good about that. I do want to say though that I in the 2 weeks I haven't been here, I did have a major healing crisis. I was out washing my car. I live in Ventura, by the beach, and we had a really sunny period. This time of year is usually very foggy here, and we don't get a lot of sun. And we had a beautiful sunny day, so I was out washing my car, and I had a big juicy watermelon. Right?
No.
And I cut it up, right?
No.
I cut half of it and I put it in a bowl and I had it out there by the car and I ate all that right as I'm washing the car. And I'm doing the interior, so it's taking hours. So I go up and I get the other half of the watermelon, right?
Yeah.
And I almost ate the other half. So I ate probably 3/4 of that watermelon. I was doing a bunch of herbs. I kicked up a detox like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I had asthma as a kid and I haven't had lung problems, my whole life except when I was a kid. I outgrew it, I guess. And I had one of those little spray things and all that, and had to be restricted on the play yard and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kicked that back up because I was there was so much mucus coming out of me. It was really buckets full. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just I had to buy new Kleenex. Just so much mucus, and that's not all mucus coming out of me. Obviously, I uncovered some acidosis, and the body was hitting it with mucus to neutralize those acids, and that mucus was coming back up out of me. And I said, no, I'm not going to suppress it. I'm not taking NyQuil or any of these things. I'm going to let it ride.
Yes.
And it was a hell of a ride. It was really day after day after day. I said, when's this going to stop?
Yes.
Am I doing the right thing? I stayed high fruit.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to keep cleansing. And I said, something came to me. Said, the door is open now.
Yes.
You've opened the door, Mark. You've opened the healing door. And we may think of it as, oh God, I have this healing crisis. I'm in bad shape. I'm coughing up a lung, so to speak. But I have opened up the healing door. This door's going to shut, right? Whether I'm completely detoxed or not, it's just going to shut. That's what the body does. It's going to do some work and it's going to shut back down. So by doing a lot of fruit, I kept the door open longer and I got more out. And now I feel great. I've been having great filtration, all that. So I haven't had the need to do the dry fast, but yes, a lot of people are reporting that a 2 to 3 day dry fast, nothing, and that includes no herbs or anything, is helping them kickstart those kidneys that are sometimes super stubborn and won't filter. So yeah, Max, this is a new thing thanks to Hildy Larson. She kind of discovered this, and
Hildy.
Go Hildy. I just got her book, by the way. I'm reading your book, Hildy. Excellent.
So good.
Fantastic. You did the ayahuasca too. Great chapter. Wonderful. Yeah, so cool. The world's awakening. We're all getting the memos here. So, okay, so we have
smoothie recipes, something like a V8.
so we have.
I'm sorry,
what is this? Tennille? Is this Tennille?
Oh, I went down too far.
Okay. What is your opinion about using vibrational
plate for moving the lymph?
A vibrational plate for moving lymph. What is that? I mean, it sounds interesting. I know that there's a thing. It's called Billions and Change. Have you seen this documentary? Okay, you guys, it's on Netflix. It's wonderful. It's called Billions and Change. It's the guy that invented the 5-hour energy drink. Not that I agree with that it's a stimulant, but the guy's actually a very wise man. He's from India. I think his name is Manoj or something like that. But he came up with a machine. He's coming up with all these devices to help humanity, right? He's got a water purifier that desalinates for no money at all. He's got a bicycle you pedal to power your village for the day and all these wonderful things.
Nice.
But he came up with a machine that gets. His scientists figured that if they can get the blood flowing through the body, they can cure most diseases. And I looked at the machine, and it vibrates, right? All over the body. I go, he's moving lymph and doesn't even know it. It's a lymph machine.
Right.
So this vibrational plate might be something along this line. So let us know more about it. Anything that moves lymph, and we can physically move lymph. This is something we know. There's massages you can do. There's hot and cold showers you can do. There's skin brushing. There's rebounding. Physically, you can move lymph, so that's probably good.
Nice.
Kelly, oh, good to know. Thanks. Cashews, lemon, salt, garlic, a little water for vegan cheese, and a big smile from Kelly.
Raw vegan cheese, if cashews are raw.
Wonderful. Oh, we got Lori sending us a bunch of fruit.
Well, that might be the best comment of the day. It's funny, when you said watermelon, you talked about your watermelon.
Watermelon.
I immediately just started to smile. Like if they rewind it, you started talking, and I just like.
It's amazing.
That's where I don't know.
We're in watermelon season too.
How do we like compare it to people who don't understand fruit yet? Like it's
unbelievable. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like Christmas or something or
whatever. You can't. It's something you can't describe unless you feel it.
Right.
You have to experience it. And it's so easy to experience. Yes. But don't let watermelon fool you. Watermelon is super powerful. It seems like it's just, here's this fruit. It doesn't have a whole lot of taste to it. Yeah. It's got a whole lot of water, but this stuff is powerful. It's up there.
No,
it's up there with the grapes,
So much so.
They can't kick my butt, I'll tell you that. I mean, it was a week of just heavy detoxification.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Mara. Hi, Steve and Mark. Mara here. Love you guys. Love you too, Mara. Thank you.
Mara.
Thank you for the nice smile. Was that a little gremlin there?
That is.
Okay, I love it. Any chance you could share one of your favorite savory smoothie recipes? Something like a V8. There's your question. Steve will take that one. Yeah.
Wow, I could have had a V8. Well, when you get into the savory and what V8 is a lot of, or the two that come to my mind, or three, I'm going to say are cucumber, celery, and tomato. I'm not into savory smoothies, but they're the exact same thing if you just put it in a bowl and you take a spoon as a soup. So I make a lot of savory soups that you can put in a glass if you want to drink it like a smoothie. But yes, I mean, you're going to go with a little pinch of sea salt or Himalayan rock salt, cucumbers, tomato. Here's one for you. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Here's a soup smoothie / put it in a bowl with a spoon. Put it in this cup for the smoothie. Put some orange juice. Yes, not savory. That's going to be your one sweet thing. Put in maybe, I don't know, 4 ounces or so. Put in an avocado.
What about a bell pepper for
you
get a little bit of that?
Sure.
Yeah, would that be savory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, bell pepper right there. And in fact, let's put the bell pepper in.
Red, green, or
not green. Green is unripe bell peppers, from what I've
learned. Really?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Red, orange, yellow are good, but green are quite picked too soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So get a red bell pepper. Get the OJ. Get the avocado. Maybe throw in a little garlic if you want. Little lemon and ACV, just a little bit. Little sea salt.
Celery seed?
Not necessarily, but right there you blend that up. And if you want a soup, then you might want to chop a little bit of tomato or green onions and put it on top of it. But if it's just a smoothie, then you can even put a little onion in it and have like this onion smoothie. But it's really like a soup.
I was just thinking of something. when you have something in a bowl, right, versus a drink, it might trick you to think that you're getting more like, more of a meal.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh, the eyes are...
Yeah, so, I'm having a nice big bowl of soup instead of, I'm just having a smoothie for lunch or dinner. Sure. I'm not really, I'm kind of depriving myself, but if you have it in a bowl,
for sure.
And like you said last time, set it out in the sun. To warm it. So now you've got a warm, just a nice warm bowl of soup.
Yeah, and maybe even throw in a sun-dried tomato or two.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's going to savor it up even more. And I love these kinds of soups, and it's a great question, Mara. You can private message me if you'd like. You got my info, and let me know because I'll give you some of my recipes. Love you.
Beautiful. So Kelly, regarding David Wolf, superfoods and treating symptoms with with them and herbs, etc., can be a great transition, and or for those who will most likely not ever go to the top of the mountain as a lifestyle.
For sure.
Yeah, it opened the door for me.
True.
It got me into this world. So thank you, David, for that. Yeah, it was definitely a bridge in for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is very valuable. Yeah.
It really is the bridge. It's like so many. And when I got in, it was like really like in the raw food world. Like 10 years ago, it was even worse. But there seems to be more bridges now, thank God. But it used to be like you're on our side or you're not. You see it like we see it, or you're out of this club. And some people are still in that narrow-mindedness. But think about fruit. Fruit is like this, and nature is like this. And nature doesn't discriminate, and we're all on our path, and we're all trying to learn. And everything that I have said here, I don't even know if I'm for sure right. Haha. I just know that I've been right for me, and I have been right for my clients.
There you go.
And I am on this path, and I have lots to learn. There's so much more I don't know than do. But while I'm learning, let's all have fun. Let's take it easy, and let's just have a lot of fruit.
He's right about that, because I get asked the question a lot, like, oh, aren't there different body types? Because I don't think I'm a fruit type person. I said, I really don't know. It certainly works for me, and it works for people I know and deal with. So I don't know the answer. I don't fully know the answer to that question, and my gut tells me no.
They might be the meat body type. I'm just joking. No. Fruit is human food, and if you're having a hard time with fruit, you're either detoxifying, or
adrenals are weak,
or you're detoxifying.
Well, sometimes the adrenals that they get,
oh, I see. Yeah.
They need to come around because the adrenals metabolize sugar. So if you have weak adrenals, they need to like adjust.
I see.
And you're gonna kick out. You're gonna have a lot of unmetabolized sugars in the bloodstream and dumped out to the liver and all that kind of fun stuff. So that quickly comes around. Yeah.
Okay.
So Lori gets her first eye reading from Marcy tomorrow. Her blue eyes are getting darker from light blue.
Ooh.
So they're getting darker because you probably have not been eating right or not detoxifying. So the darkness starts really the stomach and bowels, right? And they get kind of toxic and get dark, and then it kind of moves out of the bowel walls, right, into the lymph system. And
or she could be doing everything perfectly, and this is part of her detox. And it's kicking it out here, and they're going to get blue again.
She might have been a milk drinker. Lori, were you a milk drinker? Because a lot of milk drinkers, we call them dairy eyes, they have a white lymph throughout the eye. They're beautiful eyes. They look like they're powdery light blue eyes, but they're milk drinker eyes.
Oh,
they're dairy eyes. And
I never heard that. I love that.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
So beautiful eyes are not always beautiful eyes health-wise.
No.
That's the real thing we have to really understand. So
the beauty in the eye is the soul behind them.
Absolutely.
And everybody's soul is absolutely beautiful. Can we remove the obstructions that block us from seeing that to be so?
Can we?
Pure energy, baby.
It's our karma, really, that we're detoxing. When you really look at it,
there's a lot of
our karmic actions are our food choices.
Karmic, for sure. Yeah, you cannot, like, there's gravity. You cannot outdo gravity. It's just not going to happen. You can get a little better with the gravity, but gravity is going to happen, and there's natural laws in the universe with humans and biochemistry, and no matter what, when you put something in your mouth, it changes the chemistry. If you put motor oil, your chemistry will change. If you put a watermelon in, your chemistry will change. There's going to be a change because this living chemistry takes in new chemistry, and there's a little bit of a change there.
Yeah.
Make these changes one that say yes to you. Yes.
How come it's so simple? And we
how can we make it so complicated? Because we're humans. We have egos. We have intellectualism. We've been marketed to. We have been lied to for money again and again and again and again. And fruit and vegetables, There's not a lot of money there. And if there was, this whole world would be different. Like if fruit was like the biggest commodity in the world, like and then everyone became fruitarian, I do believe World War would end.
It would.
I believe World War would end. If people
The
got
consciousness would rise.
if they got enough fruit and enough love, you got to get the love too. But like the fruit is like a doorway to love because it is one of love's greatest gifts. One of universe, God, whatever you believe in. I believe it to be like the greatest gift to humans.
And who doesn't love fruit? Who doesn't love seeing a beautiful peach or
someone who has been denatured and taken away from nature and into the process world might not like fruit so much, but deep down it's encoded in all of us to deeply love fruit.
I can remember when I would have chosen a Twinkie over an apple.
Yeah, me too.
I was a kid, yeah.
I was Cocoa Krispies and milk. And we got the cereal, and there was like the Cocoa Krispies and the milk. And I started eating it, and it got a little bit too dry, needed more milk. Ooh, it's a little bit too wet, need more Cocoa Krispies. And all of a sudden, I'm through a carton and a box.
Oh my God.
As a kid. Pure energy.
Oh my gosh. We didn't know better. We were so impressed with ourselves with going to the moon and all that.
I just wanted sugar, salt, and fat in abundance. That's what that's all I wanted.
That's true.
And so now I just found a way to get it from the original source, the better source.
Okay, so yeah, your eyes are changing, and detox, you're going to go back to your original eye color. So great. Let us know how your eye reading comes out with Marcy. Marcy's wonderful, and yeah, lots of experience, so that's going to be great. Okay, so now we have the Norminator. Norminator, any thoughts on how to help with anxiety attacks?
Yes.
Yeah, adrenals. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Anxiety attacks is definitely an adrenal. On a physical level, there's things we could do. If you are, I definitely would be eating the fruit, and stuff, but you may, for a little bit in your transition to raw, have a little more vegetables. Have a little more fats, and also very important, do a little more meditation. A little bit more of that, and to slow down and get your bare feet on the earth and touch a tree and ground down, and a little bit of this daily of the vegetables and the fats. Definitely keep the fruit in. Fruit's your like base. The fruit is always the base. But add maybe a little more grounding, get some of the beets or the carrots, the grounding, and the root vegetables, and some of the nuts and the seeds, and the meditation, and the earthing, walking bare feet on those will all help with your anxiety. And I don't know what your schedule is like, but regularity in a schedule is key. Our bodies love the same thing every day. They love us to wake up at the same time and to go to bed at the same time, with the sun and all of that, and we usually eat at the same time, and we go to work at the same time. Our bodies love that when that happens. But when things are all over the place, it can create all of the over the place in our heads called anxiety. And that racing mind, I know about anxiety, and guess what? Everybody on this planet knows about anxiety. It is talked about, but it is so much greater. There is a full-on anxiety happening with like everybody to some level, okay? And we're in the computers, we're the cell phones. This all adds to adrenal weakness, and it all adds to anxiety. So more earth, more sun. Sun is a neurological bath to the body. It's soothing to the whole neurological system. All of these things. So get regular with something, and the earthing foods and the earthing actions and the sun. Water, meditation, and the Om. And
what about Red Bulls?
Red Bulls will jack you up, sister.
Check your blood pressures too. You want that upper number to be around 120. Okay. So a lot of times the adrenals that shows you the adrenal health there. So if you have weak adrenals, you're not getting the right balance of neurotransmitters and things like that, which can lead to anxieties.
Yeah.
So that's really super important. And Detoxification helps with that, right? It gets
Yeah.
the electrical flow back into the body.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then Steve talked about the human component to that too, which is really vital as well.
Yeah.
And stay off of any stimulants, right?
For sure.
So the stimulants are the caffeines and
For
these
sure.
guarana, and you know, look at, like I was joking about the Red Bull, but
Yes.
you know, coffee for sure.
Yes.
If you have anxiety, get off the coffee, get off the green tea, the teas, the black tea and the green tea. Any kind of stimulant, right? Chocolate, cacao is a stimulant, right? What else is a stimulant that is hidden?
The garlics and the,
really?
the spices,
Oh,
the
okay.
cayennes, those are stimulating as well.
Ah.
And also, it's also a good idea, like sometimes people can't get to sleep, you know, anxiety keeps them up. And so it's a good idea to actually move the body too into what people call exercise. I like to call it play.
Oh, the endorphins. Yeah.
And to move the body to raise things, and then it'll settle down after you raise it. It's
a brisk walk, right?
A brisk walk. Walking is a master exercise. Also, before bed, like an hour before bed, I have my clients like no electromagnetic stuff going on.
Yeah.
No electromags right now. We have this beautiful cat that
yeah, the cat's trying to get on the camera.
There you can
Oh,
see the
there
tail.
we go.
There's the tail.
Incidentally, Bitsy is with my daughter, and so she's not here this show. I know you guys all missed her. She has a fan club, so she'll
be right here.
she'll be here next time.
Yeah.
So yeah, last show we had talked about EMFs. A guy had said move the bed away from the wall, unplug your Wi-Fi, all those things. So yeah, great. Okay, so let's see. So anxiety, yeah. Okay, so Kelly concurs with the fruit for candida, especially female issues. Same with me. I did probiotics, herbs, you name it. I did it for years. High fruit was the answer. Yes, must be eaten alone. So great. So Kelly's had experience.
So who is that, Kelly?
Kelly Armit, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I believe I know her from Facebook. Hi, Kelly. So so now Kelly's another one I could recommend people to, and the one that asked about candida earlier, talk with Kelly, friend Kelly. Kelly, I'm sure, would be happy to help with what works. She even said, sorry, I can't help but chime in on my favorite topic, the healing power of food. So she's going to love that. And it's like we need more of that. More people who have the three big ones with no fruit are candida, cancer, diabetes. And all of those I recommend high fruit.
It's the craziest
thing.
It's the
craziest thing. Yeah. Especially those three. And people cannot understand that.
Yeah,
you
know. I know people think we're insane.
Insane.
I mean, when I first heard Dr. Morse say that the first thing he does with diabetics, type 1 and type 2, is get them on high fruit, I go, this guy's out of his mind.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right, but it's coming around. It's coming around, and people are more and more are getting it, and they understand now. And for diabetes, that fructose requires no insulin to get into a cell, but fructose and lactose do, like things like that in biochemistry. Like what? Fructose requires no insulin to get into a cell. Like that can put a whole industry out of business. Right there, that sentence. And it's like, what? Then why are we giving them insulin if it requires none to get into a cell?
Oh, that's a huge business.
I mean, there's the insulin business. Yeah,
I was looking at Walmart and going, this is a diabetes producing machine here.
Yeah.
It's Walmart and cancer and arthritis is, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt so sorry. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring a megaphone in there next time. I'm just gonna get on there and go.
But when I
follow me to the fruit aisle.
Look, when I was in when I was new to raw, and I remember walking into IKEA, and I did the whole IKEA maze, and then when you end the IKEA walk, you go by the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't been in anything like that in a while.
Swedish meatballs and
whatever it was. I was just walking by it. And because I was at that time, like when I was new to raw, like I was saying at the beginning, I was like natural hygiene. I didn't have salt. I didn't have garlic. I didn't have fat. I was like, you know, like certain people would think I was very, very right about what I was doing. He's right on the money, you know. But then when I got into some of the herbs like the garlics, and when I got into the fats and I got into the salts, my health and life got better. Okay, because there's this whole thing. People want to detox. detox, and fruit, and fruit, and fruit. And they hear Dr. Morse, he was on 6 months of oranges, and they hear these people doing fruit, and they're like, I want to do more fruit, and I want to detox, and I got to go more detox, and more. But Dr. Morse specifically says, you got to know when to hold them and fold them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know when to put on the gas and when to put on the brakes. When you're ready to put on the gas, you up the fruit. But when you're ready to like slow it down, he even says have a little cooked here and there, like a little steamed vegetables.
He just did a video. Somebody asked him. He
Yeah.
said, "What do you eat?"
Yeah.
He says I go fruit until noon,
Uh-huh.
and then I like he says lately I've been having a salad for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and then he says he nibbles the rest of the day, have a piece of fruit, have a vegetable, whatever, and then he says that he likes to go out to a restaurant sometimes and do the salad bar thing, whatever that means, and that could mean he has a little soup, or I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
But he says I just go to the salad bar and do the salad bar thing.
Yeah.
Which could mean a lot of things. So, yeah, he's not taking care of any illness. He's already detoxed.
He's already
to
done
the level
it.
he likes to do. Yeah.
And I was at a salad bar with him once.
So what did he put on his plate?
I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
But it definitely was an animal product. No, I mean it wasn't.
So he's a vegetarian, but he likes to
I
experiment a
don't.
little
No, I don't even think he did any dairy or anything like that.
No.
But some cooked. He told me even. He said, I go, how come you're not all raw? When I was new, I was like, you got to be all raw, man. Raw's the way to go. You're the one that told us.
Yeah.
And it's like, but he's already been there and done that.
Right.
And people like will judge him or something because he has like some cooked. It's like, who cares? It's like, get over yourself.
I was having my birthday last year, and on my Facebook, I said, look, it's my birthday. I'm going to have a cheat day. And I took a picture that I found on the internet. It had a picture of some pizza, a hot dog,
Oh my God.
Hamburger, French fries, all the junk food, right? And I said, which one should I choose, right? And a lot of people, we had a lot of fun, but there was probably 5% of the people that, one person even said, Mark Gordon is not real. Any real person would not ever go off of raw. Right?
Yeah,
they would never do this, and they would never tell people to do it. And the vitriol was just intense.
Yeah.
And I ended up having Indian food.
Yeah.
A lot of it cooked and all that. It was all vegetarian, but it really, a lot of people did not like me for that. I probably lost 5% of my people, but that's okay. I mean, I don't want to pretend like I'm absolutely perfect.
It is, and nobody is. And what happens is that the person who is upset is just projecting their own insecurities and fears onto you.
Right.
And they think of you as like maybe this perfect guy who's doing all this, the great thing for the world.
Right.
And they see that you're not, and they're like, and then they look in the mirror, and you're the proverbial mirror of looking at you, and they say like, man, I'm not enough.
Right.
And I fail, and I cheat, and and so whatever they put on you, that's why they were emotionally upset about it. But it's like Dr. Morse, he's like the most laid back, kick back. Like if I told him I went and had a vegan pizza or something, he'd be like, okay. So he wouldn't be sitting there going, naughty, Steve, get on the fruit top of the mountain, babe.
I think it's part of our programming. It's like we always want to know who number one is, right?
Right.
Like who's the best skier, right?
Yes.
I want to know who's the fastest skier.
Yes.
I don't want to know number two. Just give me number one.
Yes.
So people might tend to see us as like, oh, they're the top of the mountain, because they're 100% pure fruitarian and high leafy greens, and they're perfect. No, that's not it. That's not it.
That's all ego. Yeah. That's all it is. Is like, you're this, I'm this.
But if you see me having fruit, nothing but fruit, if I don't eat fruit till noon, definitely say something if you see me out, right? If you see me at a salad bar before 12 o'clock, definitely say I caught you.
Call the fruit police. Yeah. There's plenty of them out there. They'll be ready.
Post on Facebook. Take a picture. This was at 11:45.
Yes.
In the salad bar.
I tell you, okay, we're joking around about that, but I remember when I was like new to the raw, and I was like all the natural hygiene, and I remember, okay, this is fun. So I was doing like total fruit. I probably, it could have been at the time, I think I did like 7 days of figs exclusively.
Oh my God.
For a week or something. And then I remember like I was doing all of these like fruit, total natural hygiene. And then I went and had a salad, and I put some olive oil on it, and I was like, oh, I put all, I was serious. I put olive oil on the salad and some avocado, and I don't know. I think there was something out in there, maybe a spice in it or something too.
Kicked your butt.
And no, I felt bad about myself.
Ah.
I was like, I failed. Look at this. I cheated with a salad with a little bit of olive oil. And so since then, I've gotten over myself a little bit. I've worked on my ego some. It's a lifelong thing. But it's like that is always the ego. Always the ego. Because nobody really cares about all of this stuff except our egos.
This is true.
So ego is not our amigo.
Okay, so Christine. Hi, Christine. I'm 11 months.
Christine Boyle.
Yeah, Christine. Yeah. Okay. We saw a lot of pictures of you and Dr. Morse out at the level 1 there. That's awesome. He was dancing with all. Does he dance with all the women out there? He's so fun.
He does. We dance. I have a picture of me and him dancing.
Oh,
so it's not just women.
I'm 11 months in at 90% fruit. Whoa, for 11 months. Congratulations. And I feel fabulous, but I find when I'm not on herbs, I get very inflamed in my gut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is that saying? That you're not on the stomach and bowel herbs, and you're not moving lymph in there. Maybe you still got a lot of stagnant lymph in there that needs to move, and the fruit is exacerbating some trapped acids. What do you think?
It could be that, and it also very well could be that when our bodies are acidic, and we all have some acidity to some level, and we're eating high fruit, our bodies in its infinite wisdom will hold on to the water for dear life to neutralize those acids. So a lot of times when people get on the high fruit, they'll even sometimes gain weight at first or get a little bloated at first, and this is just the beginning of the body holding on to neutralize the acids.
A little edema.
Yeah, a little bit of that, and then when where's her thing again?
Where did we go?
And then up here, I think she is.
There we go.
Yeah, and then but when you get on the herbs are highly alkaline. Okay, Christine. So they're very alkaline. And then the body says, we don't need all this water anymore. So that's my first intuition of what is happening here. But good job. Christine Boyle, I've seen you for about a year now. I've seen you come up since you were a little girl. No. Like a new detox specialist. And I see every class has like a few that are like, they're going to do something with Dr. Morse's teaching. And I see Christina Boyle like becoming a big household name.
We both said that. We both said you're going to have your own clinic. We both thought that. Yeah, you have a lot of energy to do this.
Yes,
it's wonderful. Lori says that she was a milk drinker, now cleaning out. So there you go.
Good.
Yeah. So your eyes are going to get a deeper blue. They're not going to be that beautiful powder blue, but they're still going to be beautiful. They're going to be so healthy looking. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, Kelly, yes, we all learn from each other. We sure do. And Kelly's been great contributor on the show. And we're going to bring her on the 27th, I think it is. We're going to have Kelly here to help us out here. So
I think I know who Kelly is now. We just went to school together, didn't we? If this is the one I'm thinking of, at Dr. Morse.
Let us know, Kelly, if you went to Dr. Morse's school with Steve. I don't know
everyone's last names, but first names. Okay, anyway. Go ahead.
Okay, so Kelly, yes, we learn from each other. I have a great recipe for vaginal yeast infections to get immediate relief while you're working on the diet detoxing. We'll definitely.
Hold on, let me get my pen and pencil for that one, because I need some help there with this vaginal yeast.
Yeah, definitely post that. You can post that in the comment section of this video when it'll be back online here in about an hour. Okay, so yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's so many people that watch these now, you guys. The last one that Steve and I did is getting up 800, 900, 1,000 views already. They'll just keep going. So a lot of people this information is so valuable.
It's gonna blow up. Mark's thing in 6 months from now with what he's doing, what I'm doing, and what we're like synergizing together, and how we're helping more and more people through Dr. Morse's teachings. Like this, this is going to become bigger.
It's all blowing up. Yeah,
bigger and bigger.
You can't even get an appointment at Dr. Morse's office. I mean,
Right.
there's so many people that
Right.
want it. People with stage 4 cancer, it takes months to even get in there. So it's
Wow.
there's really a backlog. It's not. We need to fix that too. They just graduated 160 new detox coaches. So 150, 160, right?
Wow.
Of the last class.
120, I think it was like one of their biggest classes.
120.
And me and Mark were saying, like, okay, we were gonna go and we weren't, and we had busyness and we had other obligations, and then we would today Mark goes, we should have went.
Should have gone. It was a great group.
And I wanted to go so bad. I love seeing and meeting new people, and then seeing it's like family. Like I've been to level 1. I think 5 times. Call me rerun.
Yeah.
Some learn slower than others.
Well, Dr. Morse is such a valuable trove of information. You get something new each time you listen to him. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I get something new after I listen to his same shows.
Yeah.
There's so much going on there.
Yeah.
So Kelly says, FYI for the ladies. Okay. So.
Okay, then I don't need to recognize them. Okay.
Kelly, thank you. Love you guys. Bye for now. Love you too, Kelly. Thank you for everything, all your contributions. Wonderful. K Fisher.
JJJ. So it's an emoticon, I think, or a JJ is
Is that what kind of emoticon is that?
I don't know, but I think it's like a happy.
I think we're gonna take it's a nice one. Oh, here it is. I've been on fruits mostly now for almost 2 weeks. Dry fasting every few days, about 14 hours, and on the kit number 1. Dr. Morse has these kits to get you started. That's kit 1. That's the first 2 weeks of a 14-week protocol. Still not filtering. What else can I do? Thanks, you guys are great. Well, you just started, so sometimes this can take a while. Even with the herbs, even with doing all these things, it's a process to get the inflammation out of the kidneys and to get everything kick-started, get lymph moving.
Yes.
We've been eating so poorly unknowingly for most of us for our whole entire lives.
Yeah.
I didn't get the memo till I was in my 50s, so
Yes.
we can't expect to turn it around in a few weeks. Some of it takes a while. You're doing all the right things, by the way.
Yes, and yes, being patient. That's the first thing that came to my mind. You said, "What else can I do?" And it was just be patient.
Yeah.
But thank you. You're great too, because you said we're great. And you can't possibly see that if you weren't great yourself. Because we're all mirrors.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
But yes, and I also think of watermelon whenever I think of kidneys. Watermelon because of the immense hydration of it.
Oh gosh.
And watermelon is great for the kidneys. But it just keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and it just takes a while. We've been doing this other thing for so long, and our body kind of locked up and closed up and obstructed up, and now it's just starting to flow. The fruit's coming in, it's opening things up.
Yeah, and the body might be trying to hold on.
Yeah.
It might be saying, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I had built a nice comfy little thing.
Right.
I had those acids all covered up and everything was tucked away.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best, but we had it all kind of we were dealing with it, and now you're coming in changing the game. Whoa, wait a minute.
Yes.
It can be quite a shock. I wanted to add something that I've been finding out talking to people about their filtration is that a lot of people I'm finding out are actually filtering that don't think they're filtering.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Is because they're taking a lot of fluids. All right. And think about how they get oil out of the ground, right?
Yeah.
You can't just stick one of those grasshopper things in and expect to pump oil night and day. That thing has got to sit and rest. And then you have what's called seepage, okay? The seepage comes in, and then they can pump again. And they know when to turn it on, when to turn it off. So if you're taking in a lot of fluids and you're flushing a lot of fluids through the kidneys, especially with the herbs, because most of Dr. Morse's kidney herbs are very diuretic, which means they'll pump a lot of water through. So, give yourself these dry fasts are really good. Check the urine first thing in the morning, and that can be a 10, 12-hour dry fast right there, right? Let's say stop drinking or eating anything at 7 o'clock, wake up at 6 or 7, check your urine.
Sure.
But allow for some seepage too. You just might be filtering. So it's that first urine in the morning that's really, really vital to check, especially after those dry fasts you're doing. So you might have a little filtration.
And you know what? To give you a little hope, I think it took me a while before my kidneys started doing their thing.
How long do you think it took you?
I don't remember. Because I did
Couple
so
months.
many. Yeah, and again, they very well could have done more filtering than I thought, like you just said.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I started to like really pay attention to it, and I saw more like it was months down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean these things like yeah.
Hold off on the fluid intake at night or in the late afternoon, and let some seepage come in overnight and see what you got going there. Lori with the blue eyes, with the powder blue eyes, the dairy eyes. Someday I'll be doing what you guys are doing. Thank you for doing what you do. Fantastic, Lori. We need more.
Definitely.
All you guys, yeah. Anybody that wants to do this,
get into it.
It's so simple.
It's so
anybody can do it.
It's just if like we were to say this in one sentence and say class dismissed like I do at Whole Foods, it's like everyone go back to nature. Okay, we're done. That's all it is.
It's not like the medical profession, right? You don't need to study for 12 years and get all these degrees and science and mathematics.
And
all that.
what
It's
are
not
they
like
studying?
That. And they don't know about the lymph system. They don't know about the lymph system. They studied all the wrong things, I guess.
They don't know about health. I mean, they learn sick care, not health care. True health care comes from nature.
They're great at what they do, though. They're great at repair.
Repair and emergencies, doctors. Wonderful. Yes, for sure.
And there's a lot of great doctors that are very loving people.
Yes, and there's a lot of doctors who are getting on the fruit, or they're getting on the meditation, or the raw, or they're, when I took this, my guy who's 360 pounds, and he lost 10 pounds in 5 days, back to the doctor, he said, "This is my nutritionist, my health coach," and he goes, "I'm doing raw." And like the doctor kind of like, he was right, and he looked up at me, and I just kind of smiled.
Oh, another kook here. Another hippy-dippy
We lost 10 pounds in 5 days. Doctor was like, "That's a significant weight loss." Sugar, salt, fat, and abundance, doctor. I didn't say all that, but that's what it is.
Okay, Richard, what do you guys suggest for headaches and vertigo? Headaches and vertigo. Take it away, Steve.
Sure. Well, so, I mean, if this is something chronic that you've been dealing with a lot, then there's definitely going to be stagnation all up in there. If it is something that you haven't dealt with, but you're dealing with it through detoxification, know that not vertigo, but headache is one of the 2 detoxification symptoms out of dozens that are unavoidable. Everybody gets them.
You're kicking up toxins and acids. Yeah, it's part of the game.
Totally. The headache, everybody gets the headache. Everybody detoxes a lot through the head because the head is the center of the central nervous system. And our nervous system has been damaged. There's acids going everywhere in the blood, and the blood goes all, of course, through the brain. You cannot escape the headache, and you will not escape fatigue. A lot of people get into raw and they say, "Hey, I want all this energy," and then they start to feel fatigue, and they're like, "Hey, what's up? I want my money back." and what's happening is the energy is being used to dig deeper, which is tiring, and then we have a breakthrough and we get more energy, and that energy then goes even deeper down to dig through. And so fatigue and headache, nobody escapes those 2. So answer your question, if it's in detox, the headache is going to happen. Vertigo, that's going to be very well could be a pituitary, could be
cerebellum too.
Yeah.
The medulla controls all that, and the cerebellum. So you can actually massage back here to help that. There's neurolymphatic points back here. I have videos on that to help drain the head back there. So I look at a lot of eyes, and pretty much everybody over 40 has got lymphatic stagnation up in the brain. I see so much of it, and it just keeps accumulating there. And then you get in your 60s, 70s, and you just start dulling down. Like Dr. Morse says, "Honey, where'd I park the car?" It just creeps in on you, and it can come in for people a lot younger too.
Honey, where do I park?
So it's a great sign. The body's giving great signs with the vertigo to get some detox going. Get the head draining, and the head can't drain unless that stomach and bowel this is the trunk of the tree. The head sits on top of the trunk of the tree, so get all that moving. Yeah,
but know that like if these are chronic headaches and vertigo, they could be gone like forever. And
yeah, that's the good news.
I mean, through detoxification and regeneration, you were not born to get vertigo. You were not born to get headaches.
No.
and you were born to have pure energy, health, and vitality, and just like you were born love. Yeah, we get on all that.
And the fruit's going to stimulate all that lymph flow and move things, and the herbs will actually really come in. We need the herbs because we've done so much, damage basically.
Yeah.
It's just become just so thick and toxic that we need the herbs to kind of go in and do some really heavy lifting. And Steve and I were talking before the show about the fact that the true, what do we call it? The natural hygienists. They claim that fruits, that herbs are very toxic. Okay, right? That's their status on that. That herbs are toxic and you shouldn't be taking them. And Steve, go ahead and tell your answer because you had a great answer to that.
Well, I mean, I believe like herbs are like toxic or poisonous, and this is like what I've learned, but there's something about taking just enough that our bodies do something. Like the herbs, like the greens and the herbs and all of that stuff is not something that I believe we really need a lot of, except in transition, the bridge to get there, to clean out. And the herbs could help like pull things quicker, help detoxify quicker, help the alkalinity go up. It's not natural like these herbs because they're put into tincture and stuff like that. But like plants or animals know that they don't go and eat too many of the same herbs. Victoria Butenko, the Green Smoothie Queen, recommends rotating the herbs because once we go into one too much, it becomes like overboard. But just a little bit. From what I understand, it's like a little bit poisonous. So like the body builds something to deal with that, and now the body's stronger. And it's like the herbs like trick the body or something.
Yeah. But a little bit of heaviness.
Yeah.
Will get the body stimulated.
Right. But yeah, but that's
like a cattle prod.
Yeah, something like that. but that's besides the fact that it's alkaline. Besides the fact that it is chlorophyll. Besides the fact that it is fiber, soluble and insoluble fibers, all these great benefits to herbs. I think what I mentioned was just one of them and why they work. I believe I've read that, learned that in some way, and I don't even really care. Whatever works, works.
I think that's why Dr. Morse he'll put in like 8 or 10 herbs in a formula.
Yes.
Because he doesn't really want anything more than 10 or 15% in there, and wants to mix up the different constituents because there's actually a lot of kidney herbs and a lot of lymphatic herbs, and they all are a little bit different and do a little bit different things, but they all will move lymph and they all will help the kidneys get inflammation out. But he'll put in a whole basket of them that are have similar actions. Just like Steve says, not to have one come in and you're doing that just specifically.
Yep.
Okay, so Richard, with the vertigo and headaches, yes, they are chronic. I've always had headaches, and I'm 27. The vertigo is newer, past 2 weeks. So he's always had headaches.
Okay, yeah. So and there's a lot of people that always have headaches because they're always detoxifying on some level. A lot of times people will wake up with a headache, or sometimes people, if they stop drinking coffee, they'll get a headache. Yeah. And that's because the body is detoxifying. Once we stop doing, like we're sleeping all night long, so we're not doing anything, we're stopping, and the body says, okay, let's detoxify. A lot of times people wake up in the morning, and the reason why they want such a big breakfast or no breakfast at all, one or the two, like extremes, is because they wake up in detoxification. And so they're either like nauseous, I can't even put anything in my mouth right now, or I don't feel so good, let me get something in to stop the detoxification process. They don't know all this, but they just know they all of a sudden feel like at 9 o'clock in the morning, like, oh, okay, I feel okay now. I can go on with my day now. And all they did was do that. But yeah, so the vertigo is a sign of detoxification.
Moving lymph. Moving lymph through these glands.
Yeah, just lay down when it happens, drink some water and rest. It'll go away, and then the headaches will be gone forever. I mean, good news is coming for you, brother. Yeah, yep. So good.
We're going to take a last question here because we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. And Lewis writes in, is ashwagandha a potent parathyroid herb? Any experience with that? I don't have any experience with ashwagandha. The only experience I've had is I've actually I got some. It's very, very foul tasting. I think I took it more as an adrenal herb than a parathyroid herb. I know that the parathyroid likes the berries. You know, the thyroid and parathyroid like berries.
Yeah. Yes.
I can send you a list of parathyroid herbs if you like. I'll post them in the comments section of this video, Lewis. But yeah, ashwagandha is one that I know it's Ayurvedic and all that, and yeah, more of an adrenal stimulator, I believe.
And here's another thing, and this is not something Dr. Morse said in his book, but we've talked about stuff like this behind closed doors, and this is that the parathyroid, which is obviously right next to the thyroid, a lot of times people, well, one Dr. Morse did say in class is sometimes it's not a thyroid problem, it's a pituitary problem. Right. The pituitary is running the thyroid, which is running the parathyroid. So you might want to go to the pituitary, one. But two, do you speak your truth? What's this person's name? Lewis. Do you speak your truth? Speaking our truth is the throat chakra, the thyroid. And a lot of people are stagnant. So it's not always about the food. As a holistic health coach, I help people beyond the food. It's like, what are the 7 chakras? What are the energy centers? Why are there blockages? What is happening? What are the 7 holistic health practices I teach in the 7-day pure energy cleanse? So sometimes when we speak our truth and we start to learn to speak our truth more and more regularly, we start to develop strength and energy flow in those areas.
Good to know. Good to know. All right, wonderful. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. We had just such a great group, and this is gonna be seen by hundreds and thousands of people. So wonderful. Yes. We covered a lot of ground, and we kept it really simple tonight. That's what I really like. We just talked about didn't get fancy, right? We just talked about the power of fruit and high raw and having fun with the flavors of the vegetables and all that kind of stuff. And we kept it real simple and good, and a lot of pure energy from Mr. Steve Factor here. Thank you. And he's coming back next month, the first Monday of every month, and we love having him here. He's going to bring us more food. Yeah. And hopefully you guys got inspired to to go and learn how to prepare some of these fun things. Yes. And to keep it interesting, keep it fun, and to learn how, like Steve says, learn where the accelerator pedal is, learn where the brake pedal is, and learn how to, mix it up and all that kind of stuff, but still keep it healthy. For sure. And Mark even said too that when we do these once a month, sometimes we may go over to my place, the Pure Energy Cottage, or we may go into another place. He did a Joshua Tree one time, doing this not podcast, a video cast. Yeah. Take it on the road. It's always fun. Mix it up. We could do that with electronics now and the internet. And it's so amazing that people right now could be in like Japan or Spain or Africa. Oh, all over the world. And they could see us like instantly. Yeah. No, it's wonderful. Hi, we're in our living room. So are you? And this is really important for all of you guys who are still listening to share this message. Me and Mark's, Dr. Morris's, other people who are in alignment with nature. Because nature can heal us. Nature can heal us. Nature can heal us. It's the only healer. Only a true healer. And our true nature deep down is love. Love is the other healer. Absolutely. The end all be all to it all. Absolutely. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you. Fruit till noon, right? Fruit till noon. And then play. Woo! Go ahead. If you do fruit till noon and then have a salad, play the rest of the day, and you're 75% home, right? 80% home. Life's changed just with fruit till noon. That's true. And eat hamburgers and hot dogs the rest of the day, even just fruit till noon. For people who are doing and they do the fruit till noon, such a big difference. Right. Try to eat a hamburger after that. Well, you won't. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and we'll see Steve the first Monday in July. Thank you. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Is that July 4th? I don't know.
I think it's July 4th of Monday.
Oh, we
It
may
might-
have to do that from Catalina because I'll be in Catalina. Steve will come over to Catalina.
Woo!
Yeah.
Fireworks, baby!
All right. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.